Tune in now to the hottest sports podcast, 910 Sports. Tune in now to the hottest sports podcast, 910 Sports. 910 Sports. We discuss the latest topics in sports, interview the athletes from all over the country, known and unknown, while spotlighting the youth of today and tomorrow with host Icon E, Mr. Personality Jacob the Great, Crystal, a.k.a. Miss Wildfire, KB the Amazing, and Steve O, a.k.a. Mr. All Everything Georgia.
What's going on? What's going on? This is your boy Icon E. We're here on 910 Sports, Season 2, Episode 7. Want to thank God for this another opportunity to be on here this morning. To be in y'all presence. I got my girl Crystal, a.k.a. C Murder, a.k.a. Miss Wildfire. What's going on?
What's up? What's up?
Nothing. It's, like I said, man, it's been a long week, man. I've been in New York most of the week, man. It was a crazy week, man. I got all kind of stories to tell. But anyway, get into the sports action this week. We had our preseason game. We had, the whole situation with Deshaun Watson. And I know they probably talked about it a little bit on Wednesday, maybe. I couldn't get on. I had car trouble that night. So that's why I didn't get on Wednesday night. So, but basically, I know just recently, they were saying like basically when the NFL wanted to appeal to Roger Goodell, wanted to appeal the situation and give him the whole season versus the 6 games. So they trying to shoot for the whole season, and basically it's kind of against the NFL union to kind of do what they're doing. I understand. But I disagree. I don't agree with them. What's going on? I don't agree with it. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't agree with it. Because I feel like if you brought in an arbitrator and you brought in somebody else to rule over the whole situation, and that's the ruling that you came up with, then I don't see why are you feeling like it's almost like you're trying to. It's like if I went on trial for murder, or if I went on trial for robbery, and the judge gave me 10 years, and then another judge comes behind and said, no, 10 years not long enough. I'm gonna give him 20, and he already missed the whole season of football because Houston decided not to put him on the field. Now they're trying to say, I think I heard Colin Cowherd said it was his decision not to play, which I don't think that's correct. I don't think it was a decision not to play. Last year, I think Houston made that decision. He wanted out of Houston, but I don't think it was the decision not to play in Houston. So, Crystal, what you think about the whole thing? Do you think they're fair in going after him for more games, or do you think they should keep it at 6?
Now originally I thought 6 games was enough because I thought it would be between like 4 and 8 or something. But because my thing was, I'm like, he sat out all of last year. But now I guess I was wrong about why he was sitting. I didn't realize he really was getting paid while he was sitting out. He was getting paid, and at first I guess they was keeping him out like because he made it clear he didn't want to play in Houston anymore. He didn't want to play for Houston. So they can't let him get hurt so he would have trade value. At least that's how they, put it out, was like, he's not playing so he doesn't get hurt, so he still has trade value so we can get rid of him. But he was getting paid that whole time. So I don't know if 6 games is technically enough because he was getting paid last year. It's like being on paid administrative leave or something. So, but if that's what the ruling came to, I just think it's a bad look. And I think that's why the NFL is appealing it, is because it looks bad. Even though they probably really don't even care, because those are their rules and all this other stuff, but it just looks bad. From the outside looking in, it looks bad. So I think that's why they really want more games. They don't want the backlash. But if that's what the arbitrator that you got came up with 6 games, then that's what it need to be.
Well, what's up, Jake?
What's happening? What's happening? Good morning.
But see, listen, before you chime in on that, Jacob, the thing about it is that it looks bad to the NFL from an opposite situation to a certain degree, but fans that have common sense, like true fans that's gonna actually watch and watch the games and pay for it at home or watch it at home or whatever, we understand that this was not like before when Roger Goodell was making decisions, it made Roger Goodell look crazy because he was always just a slap on the wrist. But the real fans understand like this was an outside arbitrator that came in, made a decision. So it's really on her, not him. And then people, they're gonna be all upset and you're gonna have people protesting and boycotting and all that. And like I heard somebody say the other day, they could have gave that man, a 2-year ban or something crazy, or they could have banned him. The only thing that would have made everybody happy, or people are just really, really hating, if they would have said ban him for life. You know what I mean? Like I heard, what's his name, Ratzenberger, Ben had a nerve to say something like he can't be the face of the league after all what happened. Bro, you the last person on earth.
But he didn't really say that though, did he?
Yeah, he said that. I seen so many people share that on all social media platforms.
Yeah, but everybody shares fake stuff all the time.
Yeah, Big Ben said that, man. Shit.
Let me look it up, because ain't no way. Because I just think it's really ridiculous if he actually said that. Like he had some audacity. I gotta look it up. No way he said that.
I'm telling you, like I was like, Ben, is you the last person on earth that can even make a comment like that?
Yeah. Have mercy.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. But what you feel about it, Jacob? What you feel about the whole?
Man, I'm just really tired of the whole Deshaun Watson situation, and I think they need to leave the man alone, man. You brought an outside arbitrator to really break it down and make a decision. Let the decision be made, man. The NFL is always lingering on something, man. They get on my goddamn nerves. You don't see basketball do that. You don't see baseball do that. You don't see hockey do that. You don't see golf do that. You don't see tennis do that. The NFL, man, they is the worst with this type of stuff, man. And then, man, like the Texans is dumb, right? Why wouldn't if this former coach came in? I know y'all five now. If this former coach came in and broke up a dynasty between D Hop and Watson, and they was going to the playoffs, going as far as the second round of the playoffs, like, why would y'all let him do that? And then why would you not be okay, Deshaun, check this out, man. There's some people on the market. We're gonna go after them, man, and we're gonna need some help out here, man. Like we don't want you to leave, man, because you helped build this franchise. Like, come on, man. Like, the Texans really dropped the ball, man.
Yeah. What up, Steve? What up? Who that, Steve-O?
Nah,
it's KB. My bad. What's up, KB?
What's up, KB? And the Texans dropped the ball on Deshaun, and then all of a sudden when he announced he want to be traded, he no longer want to play with them. And then you have these heifers come out the woodwork. Get out of here, man. This is just not coincidental, man. Like this didn't
Well, he
happen
did
by.
it now.
Excuse me?
He did something now.
Yeah, okay. But all of a sudden it just come out the wood. Chris, come on, man. Stop it.
Yeah. So that probably was intentional, right? But that doesn't mean that they made it up.
Yeah, they made it up.
Well, see, this
So
is
why
the thing.
he didn't own it that he did whatever with it.
I'm not saying that he didn't get any massages. You know, I ain't
Okay.
saying that. I'm not saying that he didn't get any happy endings. Because people get happy endings at massages all the time. You know, I mean, and so, but I'm just saying, you know, for the Texans to have direct contact with these massage people, oh, you know what? I got something for I got something for him.
I think
Let me make a few phone calls.
I think they should be punished too, because they obviously had a hand in it and they knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But see, this is the thing, though. So he never
he
never really admitted the guilt.
No.
Even from the criminal side, they said it really wasn't enough there criminally to do anything for him. He basically just settled out of court on a civil situation. So for me, like that's common because people know, like if anybody know about how a lot of rich people, famous people operate, what they do is if they see a situation where it makes more sense to just pay somebody out than going to court and wasting your time and putting all your business on blast and doing all this other stuff, especially if it's not going to mess you up as far as like your money and your other business opportunities. A lot of times people just move on. And remember, I told y'all this a year ago, or probably at least 6 months ago. I said if I was Deshaun Watson, I was settled because it kept going on and going on and going on to the point where I think at the end they started just adding more cases on this to try to make him look bad, to try to put more pressure on him. So I don't really think it was that. It might have been a few women, but I don't think it was as many women as they make it out to be. I think they add that on. It's just like when you get arrested for a crime, when you get arrested for drug charges, and they add on 30 other charges. Because to be honest with you, most people, like if you ever been through that criminal system before, you'll know most of them charges not going to stick. They just trump up all them charges to make it look like to try to scare you. At the end, it may be like, if they give you 20 charges, maybe 5 of them end up sticking and the rest of them they end up throwing out or giving a reducer charge, and they just make it look like they just try to use it to try to get you more time off of the bigger charges and just add the little charges in there to make it look good. You know what I'm saying? So basically, I think this was kind of situation where it might have been a few women because it went from 4 or 5 and the ballooned all the way up to 25. I just like, there's something about this kind of seemed kind of fishy to me. You know what I mean? Or whatever. But yeah, so.
Yeah, man.
So another story too is what do y'all feel about now if he does end up getting the 15, 16 games, where do you think that lands for like a Jimmy Garoppolo? You know what I'm saying? Because they talk about that he may be possibly be a trade option for them for Jimmy Garoppolo to be able to be shipped over to Cleveland at least for this season. I was telling Jacob last night, I feel like it would be a great opportunity for him.
For who?
A great opportunity for him because of their style of play.
Yeah. I mean, but it's a few teams that can use Jimmy G. Like I ain't gonna say Jimmy G was a horrible quarterback. I ain't gonna say that. But I'm gonna say I guess they got faith in the young boy. Okay, but I don't really know about that decision. I don't think that I don't know. I just don't know about that decision, bro. You know what I mean? So with that being said, it's a few like Atlanta could use Jimmy G. You know what I mean? I think Seattle could use Jimmy G. You know, it's a few teams that can use Jimmy G, man. So you know,
The only reason why I say Jimmy G to Cleveland more so than Atlanta, because Atlanta I don't feel like got enough weapons to kind of like to surround him, and it will cause him to have to do more than he should be doing. Like y'all think I just be
yeah, it's
camping
trash.
Garoppolo, but it's not that. It's just that I feel like he's more serviceable than people give him credit for. But at the same time, you don't want to turn him into Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes, where he's throwing the ball all over the lot. You know what I mean? Either. You know what I'm saying? So I think with Cleveland, you got a great running game, you got a great offensive line, you got a defense that can, kind of like, sustain and keep the score low in a lot of games. Atlanta would be a straight, just horrible. It'll be bad. You know what I'm saying? So I
Well,
think
you know, maybe, but maybe he can take some of those younger receivers that they got out the draft, man, and really, and really, exploit them to the level of people say, whoa, we ain't no ATL had no receivers. You know what I mean? But you got to have the right quarterback to do that, and I don't think, Mark or smashed potatoes can do that. You know what I mean? So.
Well, the Browns have Jacoby Brissett, so I would probably, if I got Jimmy G, he's not starting. If Jacoby gets hurt again, maybe it's great to have Jimmy, but I would go with Jacoby.
That's an interesting theory. Tell me more.
I mean, I feel like he's just he's probably in some ways he's a little better than Jimmy
I don't
G.
know. I mean,
He can stay healthy.
Jacoby Brisket. I mean,
Man, call him Brisket.
Hey man, listen, I ain't really see him do much.
I'm gonna let you. You gonna have to stop. You gonna stop respecting the black quarterbacks like that now.
Hey man, listen, Jacoby Brisket. I don't know if he's using Jack Daniels barbecue sauce or whatever, man. Because Jacoby Brisket, man, I just ain't seen him take a team nowhere. I seen him.
You didn't see how well he played with the Colts before he got hurt?
Yeah, I seen him play well with the Colts, but we talking about going into the postseason. So I mean, I don't really know how that's set up for him, man. And yes, I think the coach should have kept him because he did have a decent run. But I think that Jimmy G just got more experience at the QB position. You know what I mean?
I don't think he's set up to be a starter. I think his career is set up for him to be a backup anyway. I think he gonna be starting probably this whole year, other than injury, just because of the fact that they put themselves in that situation. But I think they kind of knew he was a stopgap type quarterback, whatever. Because if Cleveland really wanted to, they could have maybe had a sit down with Baker Mayfield and really kind of be like, listen, you play out this season for us because you have to play the whole season, and then we'll figure something out. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So
Baker Mayfield, man, what are you serious? They was tired of Baker Mayfield in his crybaby coloring book series. They was tired of Baker Mayfield, man. Don't nobody care about no Baker Mayfield. Baker just want everybody. He's nothing but a sober Johnny Manziel. Go Johnny, go. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, man. Like, and we gonna keep it all the way real, man. Let's keep it all the way funky, man. He's a sober.
I agree with that. I said that when you said it yesterday on Facebook. I think whatever. I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? They just basically the same quarterback. And just one could play on the field without getting drunk, and the other one.
I ain't gonna take it away from Baker. I'm gonna give him his props. I'm gonna give him his props based on Crystal. You know what I'm saying? Based on her.
Don't do that.
Based on her, just having some baby wipes for him and a couple passes. You know what I'm saying? Based on her, I'm gonna say that, he is the quarterback that got Cleveland over that 26-year period where they didn't make the playoffs. And you know, he can really put that notch under his belt because no other quarterback they had was able to do that. So I'm gonna give him a little promise, man, but I just don't think if with the squad that he had and he's going to Carolina, if you couldn't win with the squad that you had in Cleveland, a stacked house, the deck was stacked, then you know, it's gonna be interesting to see what you do in Carolina, man. You know, I mean, I don't know if you are. I think he'll probably start about the 4th or 5th game. You know what I mean? So, but you know, yeah, Sam Darnold was doing good for McCaffrey got hurt, but at the same time, you should be able to, you know, I mean, I don't know, man. I just think Carolina got the worst luck. I think, you know, they still praying to the gods that they can find somebody like Cam, but you know, I mean, everybody quarterback is not like Cam. You know, everybody like, and then you know, mobile quarterbacks are, you know, sort of elite nowadays. You know what I mean? And most of them can run and throw. But you know, with Sam Darnold, you know, he just can throw a little bit in the laundry basket. That's all. You know, not much at all. Not much at all, man. So you know, that's gonna be interesting to see. You know, what he do out there. But I just really think Carolina gonna be trash. You know, 50-cent sack. You know.
But
You know.
real quick before we get more into these topics or whatever, I don't care what you call it, trying to jump into Chris. Let me get him in here. So I messed with Crystal this morning. I said, boy, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. And she like, why? I said, because I was at the airport all day yesterday for 12 hours, 12 hours. You get my room at 12:30, 1 o'clock. And y'all Negroes, all of y'all late. I'm like, especially y'all young boys, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
Man, I was
Y'all
tossing
should
it
be
up last
ashamed.
night. Don't do that.
Y'all should be
Yeah, you
ashamed.
were. I seen.
Don't do that.
I seen you talking up last night.
I don't want to hear it.
Y'all young boys, but I'm like, y'all.
I'm an hour behind y'all. It's 7 o'clock when I wake up.
It's
I
7
don't
o'clock
want to
for
hear
me
it.
too, bro. Bro, it's 7 o'clock
Okay.
for me. I'm right here in Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma. So don't do that.
Okay.
What's going on, Chris?
What's going on, gentlemen and ladies?
Hi.
What's happening, man?
What's up?
I was on time. I was just having mic issues.
Oh yeah, you good, you good. I'm talking about the rest of these folks over here.
Hey man, normally I'm on time, man.
Wow.
You on time?
Normally I am, man. I ain't even got my voice.
I'll give it to you. I'll give you that one. Yeah,
Wow.
Last night it was Mom Dude's birthday, man, and we
I say
was
go
out.
Panthers. Oh Lord, we got a Panthers fan on here.
Oh yeah.
On my TikTok. But anyway, yeah. So Chris, man, just kind of give the audience like a little bit of background of who you are before we go into, you know, this NFC East talk and all this kind of stuff.
Well, I'm Chris Lahiff from Philadelphia. You had on Eric last week from my podcast partner, and you know, I just talk sports. You know, Eric went to school for all that production and everything else, and I'm the guy that'll argue with you and make you think you're wrong when I know I'm probably wrong. Like
Sound like me.
Yeah.
Like you know, it's all fun. You know, we started CEV in December of 2018 with, you know, right around when the Eagles were struggling, right before Wentz got hurt and they brought Foles back. Started him back, and then they made their little run, and then we just, you know, we kept it going from there. And then, you know, they lost to then the pandemic happened. So we were doing Facebook Live shows in my basement. That's usually where I have my green screen and everything up, but it's in the middle of construction right now. That's why I'm sitting in my dining room. But, you know, then we used Anchor, and then we got hooked up with the Philly Sports Alliance to start doing Eagles baseball. I was doing Flyers. Now we're with Six Packs coverage. I do Eagles, mainly Eagles talk with them. You know, when we first started, we were a little iffy because, you know, it was a big step. You know, we were only doing 1 to 2 shows a week. And now we definitely have to keep the content out there so that, you know, we don't lose. Because at one point we were the #1 Eagles show on Six Packs coverage on their YouTube channel for like 6 weeks straight. So, you know, we're unedited. You know, we shoot from the hip. I try not to curse. You know, I try to be professional. I don't want, you know, I don't think it's that funny when people curse, you know, live. Like it's how they use it. Let me rephrase it. How the terminology is used. Like if you like drop like an S-bomb, that's one thing. But the other's not, like when it's every other word, I'm just not like that. And I have friends and I have older family members who watch and support us. So I don't want them to be like, stop. Like I'm not watching this no more if you guys are going to do nothing but curse for an hour and a half. And I can respect that. You know, if I want my family watching and supporting, I wouldn't want it either. So, and now here we are going into our second season at Six Packs coverage, getting ready for hopefully what is a successful Eagles season. And
see, Chris, you see who our little bulldog is over here. Yeah, our troll over here. This what we're gonna get all morning.
Listen, there ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts? You know, you chimed in a little bit last week. So what's your thoughts on this next year, this NFC East season? So what are you thinking?
For the Eagles to be successful, they're going to have a good defense. Like it's inevitable. Like it's, you know, last year, you know, the experts had the Eagles picked at 4-13. I really don't try to do picks because it's too hard. Like it's like I stopped doing predictions after 2017 when I was like, the Eagles will probably finish like 10-6, 9-7. They'll win that last game against Dallas and they'll sneak into the playoffs as the wild card. No, they went 13-3. Their MVP quarterback got hurt and they won the Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. That doesn't happen. That happened with Doug Williams and Jeff Hostetler. And it just doesn't happen. And the way that whole story was told. So that's why I kind of went away from predictions. But 4-13 last year, the NFC East was not that good last year. It really wasn't. You know,
trash.
Like 4-13. I'm like, no. I'm like, their defense alone will win them games. Like I was a little iffy with Jalen Hurts because, you know, I saw him at Oklahoma. I saw him in Alabama. I'm an Alabama guy, like, you know, so yeah. So you know, so I was rooting for Al.
Hold on, before you continue on, this is why I don't like Nick Saban, because Nick Saban had the nerve, the audacity to say this week, "Oh, we last year we were rebuilding." There's nothing in your vocabulary. That's like saying, "Oh, I went from a Mercedes-Benz to a BMW to a BMW." Like, it's nothing in your vocabulary that should ever say you're rebuilding if you're at Alabama and you Nick Saban. That was the most arrogant comment. See, he say stuff and I don't think he understand what he be saying. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, continue. I just stand like,
hey man, you kind of know he's sick, right?
I don't care how sick he is. That was just an arrogant
he
comment.
He get a little sick now.
Come on,
he get a little sick now, man. He still hurt, and so Steve, I'm gonna just let you know he hurt from what happened last championship, bro. So he gonna be out trying to maneuver and get revenge and everything. Yeah, he hurt, bro. Like they say he ain't had no coffee all summer.
Go dogs. Oh my God.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I mean, yeah. Listen, Nick Saban is Nick Saban. They're never rebuilding. Like if Nick Saban walks into your house, you know, there's a reason Nick Saban's walking into your house. Let's be realistic. Like there's a 75% chance your child's going to go into the NFL, whether he's a starter or a backup. Yeah, it's just how it is. Like just like if you go into Notre Dame, you know, as a football player, your child's most likely going to graduate with a degree and have a shot at the NFL. Like it's just how different schools are. But yeah, so you know, and like for the picks this year, I loved them. I loved the draft picks. I loved the picks that Howie made. I love the trades that Howie Roseman made. You know, every year this guy makes me hate him, and then every year he makes me love him again. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating as a fan when I just want someone who can just build a team and go with that. Like, look at all the years that the New England Patriots built their roster from 2000 to up until Brady left. It was, and you know, like he built, and Brady was a smart enough quarterback to be like, all right, you know, I'm going to take a pay cut. Well, not a pay cut, because let's be realistic. The team was making, you know, donations to the TB12, you know, foundation and everything else, and that's why he was only like the 20th ranked paid quarterback at times. But
well, somebody on here thinks that you know, Julio Jones, you know, gonna need like a wheelchair by game 2. So you know,
not even that long.
Man, he may sneeze and hurt himself.
Oh my God, y'all terrible. Y'all terrible. Y'all don't get this man no chance.
No, listen. I'll give everybody a chance. I mean, he's Julio Jones. He's great when he's healthy. He's just not healthy a lot. Like you know, and for some reason he doesn't score touchdowns. I don't get it. Like it doesn't make sense how Julio Jones, you know, like like in the playoff game against the Eagles, how do you fall down?
Last day of the game.
Yeah.
Like you fell down.
Yeah. That was bad. That was a Shaq in the Fool moment, and that's in football.
Right, and it was Jalen Mills covering you. It was like me covering you. Like you shouldn't have fell down. Like it's just like no, you should not. You should not lose your footing against Jalen Mills. He's a 7th round pick out of LSU. There was a reason.
Yeah. So the Eagles. Do you think that? Because the question with the Eagles really is Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying? That's their biggest question. So you know whether or not he can be serviceable enough to really compete for the NFC. Well, I think they can compete for the NFC crown, especially with now James Washington getting hurt for Dallas. So now they almost dang near one receiver. You know what I mean, or one you can really count on. So
the NFC East, it's going to be tricky this year. I don't think Dallas got better. They didn't. I just, you know, unfortunately, they still have Mike McCarthy as head coach. Like,
right?
He's still their head coach. Like, you know, how are you Mike McCarthy and you have Aaron Rodgers? And I know Aaron Rodgers has his quote unquote issues, but you won one title with Aaron Rodgers. You choked all the other times. Like, you know, go to the playoff game last year. CeeDee Lamb had 5 touches, or 5 attempted touches, or 5 targets, and they didn't even run the ball with him.
Nope.
And then go look at Samuel Debo. I feel like every time he touched the ball, he was getting positive yards, whether he was running the ball, catching the ball in the middle of the field. Like, he was doing everything, and they couldn't stop him. He's got to learn to utilize his weapons. But, yeah, now they have, you know, James Washington is out with 10 weeks. Trayvon Diggs is having a really bad camp. You know, and I know it's camp. I know it's camp.
He been
getting cooked in camp?
Yo, yeah.
Cooked by everybody. They taking turns on it. Like, let me line up on let me get some of that.
Like, you know what it is they done went down and watched tape on each other, and they've learned his techniques and what he liked to do.
He was never a good cover corner anyway. Y'all just hyped him up.
Thank you.
Hey, that's true. That's true, because he gets burnt just as much as he'll make a big play. You know what I mean? And that's not good if you got 11, 13 interceptions, but you get burnt 3 or 4 times a game. And I ain't talking about on no out route or no go route. I'm talking about on a deep throw. He's gonna get burnt at least once a game. And then on the worst part about it is you got what's the name? Brown? Is it Brown on the other side?
Yeah.
You gotta ask Jacob. Don't nobody else know.
What's the other cornerback name that always getting burnt for Dallas?
I know who you're talking about. He committed all those passes. He committed all those passes.
Passing
the
Thanksgiving game.
If he not getting burnt, he just grabbing you and pulling you down because he about to get burnt. So I mean,
it was the whole season was Trayvon Diggs is this and that. And, you know, he gave up a lot of passing yards, but you know, as a fan and as a team, you have to expect that. Like, look at Asante Samuel all those years. He either intercepted the ball or the ball because he always made that jump. but he could also run with you and cover you one-on-one. That's like when I sit there and I try to when I try to play devil's advocate and I look at like the Asani Samuels of the world and I look at the Trayvon Diggs of the world. Trayvon Diggs, he's an okay quarterback, okay cornerback. He's not Deion Sanders. He's not Darrelle Revis. Like he's an average corner. The Dallas Cowboys had 34 turnovers and their defense caused 34 turnovers last year. It's not going to happen again in 2021. And a lot of those turnovers lead to wins.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think Dallas, I don't know who's going to win the division. I'm not saying Dallas. I'm not saying Philadelphia. But, they're not going to be as good as everyone thinks they're going to be. And, the team that's going to surprise people based on the coach is going to based on the coach alone, on the coach, not the quarterback, is going to be the Giants.
Who?
The New York Giants.
Oh.
Because,
hell no to the no.
Because Danny Dimes is going to most likely be benched, and Tyrod Taylor, who is an okay quarterback, is going to come in.
Clipboard Taylor.
So
He said Clipboard Taylor.
as long as the Giants medical staff doesn't stab him in the chest like the Chargers did, they'll be fine.
Right.
like I'm not saying they're going to be competitive. I just think they're going to surprise. I think they're going to be better than the Commanders. I can't believe I'm saying their name. I think the Commanders are just, I think, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I think Ron Rivera. I think Ron Rivera is an okay coach. I think he's overrated for the hype he is. He's got a 500 record.
But he had an average quarterback.
Okay.
He had an MVP quarterback at 1.2 and still didn't win it.
Cam Newton is the most overrated quarterback in the last 20 years to me.
But he was still MVP.
I mean,
You can't. What you mean?
Based on
man,
You can't. That ain't debatable.
Based on what? Being a running back, being a.
How come you reaching, man? How come you reaching, bro? You reaching.
Cam Newton was a glorified quarterback.
You reaching, man. You reaching.
Glorified running back.
You reaching, man.
He not accurate at all. He's never gotten better from his freshman year, from his rookie year to the end. He's never gotten better. You know what I'm saying? So where was Cam Newton? I don't see where he was. Because they went 15-1 doesn't make him the MVP. That's the only why he was. And they had a great defense that year. You know what I'm saying?
Kale actually balling. Kale actually balling.
Yeah,
and I'm hard on
man.
Kale.
You
reaching.
You reaching this Sunday morning. You reaching, bro.
Ooh, I could. Sound like you were doing a little sideline hate night. I don't know about them.
I like him as a person. He seemed like a good guy, whatever. But as far as on the court, on the field, I ain't like Cam Newton at Auburn. I never liked Cam Newton.
Okay,
I always thought he was overrated.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be realistic. Ron Rivera he's been a coach for 11 years. He's had three winning seasons. That's Jeff Fisher. That's Jeff Fisher.
Oh, it don't get no worse than Jeff Fisher. Oh, it don't get no worse than Jeff Fisher.
Like that. That's what Jeff Fisher.
But see,
and that's why I think Ron Rivera has his upsides, but he's not this great coach that everyone thinks he's. He is.
He's slightly overrated. He is slightly, and he overrated because of the Super Bowl run. Because of the Super Bowl run, because the time the Panthers was even decent was when he was there. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, the Panthers been garbage the whole time they've been in the league. So
they went to the Super Bowl before that, but okay.
You going too far, Icon.
Yeah, man.
I mean, they went to the NFC Championship game their first year in the league.
Yeah, you tripping
first or second year league. I mean, come on.
A lot of teams have that. What you call it? The clock can be right twice a day. Can be, you know what I'm saying? Moment. A broke clock can be right twice a day. Moment. It's teams in history of you. If you look at sports in general, you know what I'm saying. And new teams sometimes have early success like that, and then they don't do nothing else. You know what I'm saying? So it has been history of different sports. A new team would come in and have some kind of early success, and then from there, because you know why I never became a Panthers fan. And I'm from North Carolina, because when I used to watch Carolina for games on Sundays or try to, they was the boringest team in the world to watch because they didn't have they didn't have an exciting player until they got Julius Peppers. And I seen what you said the other day, Steve-O, but they didn't have an exciting player until they got Julius Peppers. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. And then they got, you know what I'm saying, but for the most part, and then Steve Smith and Julius Peppers. That's the only reason why I even cared to watch them. But other than that, they always been boring to watch to me.
But you watch the Miami Hurricanes for the last 20 years. Oh my God!
What you mean?
Don't get it started.
There you go. We still gotta have this debate.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
Be really.
The year they went to the Super Bowl, Cam Newton threw 35 touchdowns and 10 interceptions.
Yeah, you kind of got to give Cam credit for that.
Let Icon tell it. Let Icon tell it. That ain't enough.
Okay, since it's Sunday morning, I will give Cam Newton credit for his MVP year. But every other year, I ain't giving him credit for that.
At Auburn, he literally won a natty by himself. Like, you can't name one player that played for him.
Bro, I was doing security at the game, so I seen him at the game.
So were you watching or were you locking people up? Were you watching?
I mean, okay, I give him 2 moments. I give him his college football career, his last year at Auburn, and I give him 1 year in the NFL. The rest of the career is garbage. I give him 2 seasons. I'm gonna give y'all credit for 2 seasons.
But look what he did his rookie year, though. That was he set a precedent his rookie year, rushing and passing for a rookie.
Okay, so, all right. So if I give
y'all
rookie year.
We up to 3 now.
So I'm trying to be nice.
Hold on.
Had since the one when they won the Super Bowl.
Hey, KB, hold on. I can't say Cam Newton is garbage, but what y'all had a quarterback named Mark Rippon?
We ain't talking about that though. Why we ain't talking about that? That ain't what we talking about. Why we talking about that? That Prescott world beater. See, we want to go there now. You act like that Prescott doing something.
They paid him like he is.
I don't know. He overrated.
They paid him like he is.
Hey, I can tell you this right here, Icon. For you to say, like, you straight hating on Cam, though. You know, like, stop it, man. You don't get that man no props, man. You act like that man a Nerf football player. Stop that, bro.
I mean, he's not as bad as like Baker Mayfield or somebody like that, but I mean, he ain't that bad. So I'm not gonna use the word garbage. I'm gonna say I didn't mean to say garbage, but he's over. I said he overrated. That's what I really just meant. He overrated to me. He's not garbage.
But who rates Cam so high?
He's garbage now. He garbage now. But I'm saying
so who's really overrated? If one talk about overrated, I can't say Cam. I'm gonna say first cousin, second cousin, third cousin, fourth removed cousin.
Definitely.
But who rates them high? Like y'all are saying, y'all are saying overrated. Like somebody makes an argument for either one of those guys.
Right? They never do.
Yeah.
And once upon a time, KB stopped telling that lie on Sunday morning. Once upon a time, they did make an offer for Cam Newton. Stop it, bro.
Once upon a time, he was an MVP caliber quarterback. Once upon a time. But we talking about his whole career. Like nobody sits back and says Cam was one of the great ones. Like no, like he had a good season or two, and that's what it is. Nobody sits back and like Cam's top 10 all time or top 20 or even top 30. Nobody talks about him.
And he had more than 2 good seasons, bro. Man, y'all, well, listen, bro.
Even so did Kirk Cousins. So did Matt. Stafford.
He had good seasons. Then what's the other 9? What's the other?
So did Nick Foles. Like you can have 2 or 3 good seasons. Like we're talking about somebody's career. Like nobody's ever sat back and was like Cam is an all-time great. No, never. You've never heard that, so there's no sense of.
That's not what I said. Ain't nobody said. Nobody sit back and said it. But I can't hate on that man.
He had 2 good seasons out of 10 out of 12 seasons. He had 2 good seasons.
I'm just saying you can't be.
He had way more than 2 good seasons. Stop, bro. Stop, man.
No, that joker garbage, man. Y'all gonna make me
Hey, Steve-O.
I don't even use garbage. He average.
Hey, Steve-O. I couldn't hate, ain't it?
Doing a little hating this morning. A little hating going on. And y'all know I ain't no Cam fan by far. Now y'all know that. You doing a little hating this morning. Now I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You throwing a little salt over there this morning.
That's just my opinion.
Hey, boy. Your new nickname is.
All my people from Carolina be beating up Cam.
Hey, boy, listen.
That's not the reason why I be hating. Because if you know, I'm from North Carolina. So if you know North Carolina, South Carolina fans, that's Carolina fans, they put Cam Newton on a pedestal for years. Oh, Cam this and Cam that. When?
I mean, this man just told me that Jalen Hurts was gonna be something. I mean, come on, bro. What you think?
Who told you that?
People are going to take up for the hype of their hometown guy. Like in North Carolina, you have that argument. I guarantee that argument ain't heard out of the city of the city of North Carolina.
Ain't nobody out of Fayetteville said that. Ain't nobody said that outside Fayetteville and Charlotte.
But hey, man, listen, man. Hey, Steve. People can say what they want to say. I mean, people may not like him outside of that city of Charlotte, but they ain't gonna go in on the man like I couldn't. I couldn't act like the man did something to him personally.
I'll tell the truth. I'll tell the truth. I ain't
no, man. You act like that man did something to you personally, man. But anyway, man.
I knew he was gonna be garbage in New England. I knew when he went to New England. I said it's the worst move ever. I knew that was gonna be debacle.
Yeah,
it wasn't. It didn't cost us anything, so it wasn't the worst move ever.
It didn't matter what it cost y'all. It
do matter what it cost us. It does matter.
Hey, so Chris, let me ask you a question, Chris.
Throwing the ball around.
Hey, Chris.
I think he needed glasses because he was throwing the ball to the other team a lot. You know what I'm saying?
You see, man, listen, Icon, man, listen. Hey, so Chris, why you think the Commanders are trash? Let me hear your spiel on it.
The comments.
I hate the name. Like I'm still calling them the Washington football team. It's ridiculous. It's a stupid name, Icon. Stop it.
Hold on.
We are Commanders.
Hold on. Time out.
We are Commanders.
Time out. Let me ask y'all this. When nobody's saying that, when they changed New Orleans to the Pelicans, that's the most stupid
name, a horrible name. But that's a state bird though. But that is a state bird though.
I don't give a damn what it is. That's a weak name. Yeah, and we Commanders, we you know.
I'm just about it.
And what about
Washington?
Yes, what about the Cleveland Guardians? The Cleveland should be called the Cleveland Crackheads or the Cleveland Red.
Oh, we're gonna get kicked off.
No doggone Guardian. What the hell is Cleveland Guardian? You know what I'm saying? No, stop this. They can't even.
So you're telling me the marketing team went into a meeting and came up with the Commanders
and trying to act like y'all voted for it?
No, man. Daniel Snyder did.
They should have kept the Washington football team to beat me. I'll be honest with you.
Hey,
I like Red Wolves. I like Red Wolves.
Chris, listen, man.
The whole thing with them hunting in the field and the stands, and it was
KB.
It was great.
KB know this, and Steve know this, and Icon know this, and Chris know it too. Daniel Snyder was in that champagne room, and he had too many, and he was like, "Well, you know what?
Look, and you know he knows Jerry's there too. He hosted.
I command excellence. KB, shut up. Shut up. Just shut up, man. Just shut up. Well, you make no sense.
See, my thing, like I told everybody, I don't care if you would call us the Washington Crackheads. If it's gonna result in more wins or not, we can start winning. I don't care what we call. I really don't. I don't get caught up in the name.
If you can start winning with Carson Wentz, okay.
Well, that remains to be seen. That remains to be seen.
No.
I mean, let's put that up. Wentz is not like
all of us do because he watched.
I like Wentz.
Wentz is not a horrible
I'm sure you do.
Wentz is not a horrible quarterback. He's better than Matt Ryan.
I don't want to hear that because we already know. Since we have a diehard fan on the phone, we already know. And Wentz hadn't got hurt and went through that whole playoff run, the Eagles would not have no Super Bowl.
Oh, I'm not saying that. You don't know that. You can't.
No, bro.
They have a good defense. The only reason I say that is because they have a great defense that year.
Wentz would have not have beat Tom Brady. He's not damn smart enough.
Well, Nick Foles didn't beat him. The defense did. They have an excellent defense, bro. That year, Fletcher Cox was going ham in the middle of that. He was unblockable. I'm being real. He was unblockable.
Right. We can argue about that all the time, man. That when Nick Foles took over, that when he smashed the gas, when he pressed his feet on that gas, that playoff run for Philly went ham. We like,
it was him. He had a great career like Cam too, then, huh? Off of that Super Bowl.
I mean, let's be realistic. Okay, but if you want to go back to the Eagles playoff run, the first game against Atlanta, Atlanta should have intercepted the ball. The ball
bounced off for 42 hands.
And when right into Torrey Smith's hand, and he got a first down, and that led to a field goal at the end of the half. LeGarrette Blount scores on fourth down. Julio Jones falls on the last play of the offensive game. And so to sit there and say you don't know that Wentz would have not beat Tom Brady or they wouldn't have had a playoff run, I think that's that's just lazy. Now, I'm saying you, but I'm saying like that's what people sit there and say. Like, well, then you have to go back and actually look at the game. Like that game, while it was close, the play at the end of the half never should have happened.
Well, Chris, listen though, man. A lot of diehard Philly fans believe that Foles did what he did, but they don't believe Wentz could have did that, man. Down through the stretch, they don't believe Wentz could have did that. A lot of people feel that way. Not just me. I'm just saying. A lot of
I don't think you know no Philly fans. I don't think you know no Philly fans.
Come on, Steve Hutch, man. Come on, you talking nonsense, man.
I don't think you know no Philly fans.
You talking nonsense, man. Because you don't get outside of Atlanta. Don't do that.
Sound like you stuck in Saluda because ain't nobody saying that
never.
Damn wins,
never that, bro.
Listen, the whole and Nick Foles and
young boy problems.
Nick Foles was an okay quarterback his entire career. He's had 4 good games since he's got drafted in 2012. People act like he's the next coming. He wasn't. He's a good quarterback who's serviceable for 6 to 7 games a season. That's it. He just happened to have
the Super Bowl. I understand.
He just happened to have the 2 best games of his career in the NFC Championship game and 2 weeks later, like that because
sound like Cam Newton's career to me. But go ahead.
Yeah, but
what?
Nick Foles wasn't a first-round pick.
That boy, hater boy.
And Foles ain't got no MVP. Stop this.
I'm just messing with y'all.
I think the thing is that they feel like the Patriots, Bill Belichick could have game planned for Wentz easier than Foles.
Yeah, exactly.
The only thing
very much so.
Like, it's possible that they don't win is if it would have been easier for them to game plan against Carson than Nick Foles. Because Nick Foles was like a wild card. You didn't know what he was going to do. He had a great, like you said, he had a great game. And I just don't think that we had the right game plan to beat him. That's all.
Hold on. Doug Carson got a stronger arm.
But he's so easy to figure out. I don't care how. I don't care if he can throw that thing from South Carolina to Atlanta. Yeah, right, Crystal. It's right. It is hard to figure him out. I don't care if he can throw the football from Philly to Charlotte. He's so easy. He's so predictable. He's easy to figure out, bro. He's the easiest quarterback for a defense to figure out.
Are we talking about Carson Wentz?
Yeah.
Well, I ain't saying he the easiest. I think he would have been easier. That's all
I
I'm
just think
saying.
he makes bad decisions with the ball sometimes as far as his decision making. But I don't think he's necessarily easy to figure out. He just makes decisions like with the ball sometimes you're like, what is he doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, while that's true, he didn't make bad decisions in 2017.
Right, he was on a MVP.
He was gonna win the MVP.
For the MVP before he got hurt.
He was gonna win it. Because of course you got to remember they was trying to basically find a way to try to force it to Tom Brady.
Bro.
Tom Brady to win it so bad.
From Northern
Carson was kind of like a runaway. He was kind of running away with it at that point. You know what I'm saying? Even though
I don't think he was running away.
Tom Brady in it, but he was running away with it.
But he stayed hurt, man. Like he more fragile than Anthony Davis.
Nah, hell no.
Don't do Carson like that.
Carson fragile, man. Carson been hurt most of his career, man.
Anthony Davis has too. You know what I mean? He ain't as bad as Anthony Davis. No,
That's
Anthony
the reason
Davis,
why Philly
Carson
moved
Wentz
on
played
from
almost
Carson
every
Wentz
game last year.
because the Philadelphia Eagles couldn't get any production out of him, man. That's why they moved on from Wentz. They couldn't get any production out of him.
But he played last year in almost every game. What did Anthony Davis do but sit on the sideline with doggone club clothes on? I thought we was at Magic City every time I seen Anthony Davis on the sideline.
Yeah, okay, I give you that he played every, but when Philly needed that production out of him after that big payday, he did nothing, man. He stayed hurt. Like that's why they moved away from him. Yeah, yes, he had all potential in the world.
There you go again. I don't think you get your back from a Philly fan.
Okay, all right. So why did people move away from him?
He finna tell you. The man might tell you stop talking.
So while I agree that Carson Wentz's stats and productions went down and they didn't, he didn't show up when needed. Neither did the front office. They needed a receiver. They drafted a punt returner. In the second round, they drafted a backup quarterback. That we're in good when you paid this man all that money. Why would you do that? If the projected player isn't there in the second round, what do most teams do? What do the Andy Reids and the Bill Belichick's do? They get the guy who wins in the trenches. They don't draft a backup quarterback who, has a little bit of arm issues and was projected to be a 4th round pick. Now, with that being said, Carson Wentz underperformed. They were really bad in 2020, and next thing you know, he's out in 2021, and there was a $33 million cap hit for 2021, which again, that'll never make sense to me. It's the one thing I will always question the Eagles front office on is why would you draft Jalen Hurts, especially in the second round? The guy was projected 4th round pick. I think it was Howie trying to be the smartest guy in the room, and we'll see if he was wrong. We'll see if he was right. And then you go back to the earlier pick with Jalen Reagor, like quite honestly, the dumbest pick ever. I can't think of anyone when you have Justin Jefferson sitting there, and you look at Jefferson's career now. Look at who his quarterback was throwing to him, Joe Burrow. Like these two were studs. Like it wasn't that hard. Like it's Justin Jefferson. It's like all day, like draft day. Make it happen.
Right.
Like it made zero sense why those two picks happened. And then he comes out in this 2021 draft or 2022 draft,
killed
trades for AJ Brown, gets Jordan Davis, gets Nakobe Dean. I still don't understand why Nakobe Dean dropped. I guess his medical history and all that.
Yeah, I can tell you that.
But I've watched Georgia games. I've watched Jordan Davis create, holes where I could walk up and make the tackle. Like now he's going to have Fletcher Cox and Jordan Davis. Fletcher Cox isn't going to get double teamed anymore. Jordan Davis is a monster. Their defense is going to be really good. They have, and then they signed I can't think of his name, Hassan, who went to Temple, who played on the Panthers in linebacker. So Nakobe Dean's going to be really.
Hassan Riddick.
I think Nakobe Dean's going to be a legitimate player for Defensive Player of the Year or Rookie of the Year. It's the writing is on the wall for that defense to be phenomenal. It really is.
And I want to say this too, Chris.
That's going to be interesting to see. Sure is.
That's why they're my Madden team of the year.
Oh man, I'm about to care about those Madden.
What I want to say too, Chris, with Washington is being my realistic assessment of it is that I feel like the defense, if they can get back some of what they had from 2020, because I felt like last year they kind of smelt their own Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? And so they didn't come in with that same hunger and desire. Because it's not like they pretty much had the same defensive players. They just think, Chase Young did hurt them, but I just, for whatever reason, and then I don't know if the defensive coordinator was trying to get cute and come up with different schemes, but whatever it was, they're too talented to me, especially along that front four, that they should be able to at least be more respectable in what they got going on. And the thing about it was, I think they got underrated weapons on the offensive end. Terry McLaurin is very underrated as a wide receiver.
Anyone who thinks he's underrated is bananas.
Crazy.
Antonio Gibson, he's a really good running back. He's got that fumbling issue that him and Carson gonna have to work on that this year because we know what Carson is. Carson had the most left-handed turnovers last year. He's a right-handed quarterback. So, when you're just trying to go like this with the other hand, it's going to catch up to you. Teams have tape on him, and there was reports out of training camp that Montez Sweat was chasing him and yelling for him to get rid of it, and he ran out of bounds and lost yards. It's carrying over. So he's becoming uncoachable, and hopefully Ron Rivera, being
you saying Carson Wentz is becoming uncoachable.
Well, that's what they're saying. That's his schlick is that he's being uncoachable. Look, he went to his favorite coach last year, and still couldn't win. Yeah. So now people sit there and say they talk about the Colts losing to the Jaguars at home last year. Well, if the Jaguars haven't beaten, the Colts haven't beaten the Jaguars at home since 2014, which is a ridiculous stat. I don't.
What?
The Indianapolis Colts have not beaten the Jacksonville Jaguars at Jacksonville since 2014. Makes zero sense.
Crazy.
Well, I don't say it makes zero sense, but Jacksonville had a run of first-round picks that was really good. And they actually manifested that all the way up to the AFC Championship against Pittsburgh, I believe, that year.
Yeah.
So they were pretty good, for the last few years. But didn't nobody want to stay. I think their owner cares more about pro wrestling than he does the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I mean, they should have beat the Patriots to get to the Super Bowl and play the Eagles. But the coach, played it safe.
Oh, and I think it was a bad call for the Patriots at the end of that game too. Am I right, Crystal? They saved y'all. I think they saved y'all. I think a bad call saved them at the end of that game too. I think I remember that right.
But see, you know what? I think Carson Wentz took a bad rap too because the whole team played garbage. The defense played garbage in that game last year. It was not like it was just him.
Oh no, it wasn't. No, but it's easy. It's easy to blame Carson Wentz. Not so much the quarterback position, but at that point, with the way the media is, it's so easy to blame Carson Wentz. He didn't show up for another game. He did this. He did that. No, he did not lead to however many points that the Jacksonville Jaguars scored. He didn't lead to how many, touchdowns Trevor Lawrence threw or how many touchdowns were ran in by the running backs. That wasn't him. But again, when you sit there and you don't actually look at the facts and you just want to get a hot take, Carson Wentz lost again. If you want to go to Skip Bayless route and just say Carson Wentz lost again. Well, what led to the losses? Was there? Did he throw interceptions? Did he turn the ball over, or did the defense give up long drives? There's more to it than just a quarterback lost the game.
Chris, who you take?
You're paying listen to him though, because he's the same dude that'll say that Prescott had a good game when they down 30-3, and then he threw 3 late touchdowns. All of a sudden, he had a good game.
It's garbage points.
I just want to know if Chris take Devontae Smith over CeeDee Lamb.
No, listen. I think CeeDee Lamb's a stud. I think he's going to struggle this year a little bit because Washington, no Gallup in the first couple games, and no Amari Cooper. I just think it's going to bite them trading Amari Cooper, and I know they had to pick the $20 million running back over him, but it's going to hurt Dak. Not having Gallup because Gallup and Dak, I feel like they're like Rice and Montana when I watch them play sometimes. Like Gallup makes these plays.
Shit, that's a lot of praise there now. Hold up.
I'm just saying the plays. I'm not saying the wins. I'm just saying the plays that they make. Yeah, I'm not saying wins. I'm saying plays. Like if you go ahead and you look at like these catches that Gallup's making, you're like, you're good all of a sudden. Like stop. But I think not having Amari Cooper, for the whole season, and I think having, losing James Washington for 10 weeks is going to be huge. Yeah. And you don't have Gallup; he's on the pup because he's got the torn ACL. Like those are things that And
Cedric Wilson. Losing Cedric Wilson was big too. That's big.
That was huge. Yeah, that was huge. And I'm not a Gallup fan, bro. And I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. I'm just not a Michael Gallup fan. I think Amari Cooper brought way more intensity to the team, and I think that a lot of the pressure was taken off CeeDee Lamb because people had to focus on Amari Cooper. And now we're about to see what CeeDee made of, and it's going to be hell to pay. And
when is he going to drop them passes like he did?
Yeah, he gonna drop some passes. Jerry gonna have migraines. Jerry gonna go senile. Like he gonna be in the damn wheel. Watch what happens.
Yeah, that's another thing. You know, it's
like I wouldn't. And Chris, I mean, because I would never get somebody $62.5 million with a torn ACL, and now you got to sit out the first 5 games. Why you? But you didn't have to. But Cedric Wilson didn't want. But maybe like what? 30 million for like 4 years.
But see, and that's another thing. How many players other than like a Adrian Peterson after a torn ACL situation come back in the same player they were last year, that first year?
Everybody now, they like sprain ankle now.
I mean, they come back, but they don't necessarily be the same player. They don't be in that same.
Not that first year. Now everybody don't bounce back as fast as they, but they come
Gallup
back.
Was already inconsistent. Gallup wasn't necessarily the most consistent receiver. So now you asking him to come in and be the number 2, and he coming off one of the worst injuries you could have. You know what I'm saying? To try to get back like that quick. So he might not even be back until next year. Like as far as like being that explosive, Michael Gallup.
You're right.
Yeah,
I think that.
Yeah, and you know, Cedric Wilson going to the Dolphins. I don't know if that's going to absolutely hurt to it, but he's going to have Tyreek Hill. And he's going to have Jalen Waddle on the other side. You know, Dallas couldn't find $22 million over 3 years for Cedric Wilson to see how he played the last couple games of see how he played this last season. Like that's
crazy.
It's just sometimes it's bad. It's bad GMing. Like when you look at it, like the whole thing with Dak and his contract situation and the fact that they gave in, I'm shocked because look at the money they had to market him better. Like, listen, you're going to get this, you're going to get this, and you're going to get this. Oh, and you're also going to be the face of DirecTV. This is what your career earnings are going to be. For us to pay you this amount of money is, for us to be successful and get you protection and get you running and get you, to take the pressure off you with the running backs. I just think they just went about it the wrong way.
They did. And I'm going to tell you why, Chris. I'm going to tell you why. Because initially, Dak only asked for like $38 million for 4 years. Originally, when he originally wanted, it was between 38 and 42 million for 4 years. When he originally,
but 30 million per year?
No. 38 to 40 million over a 4 year period. Originally, when he tried to get that new contract from Jerry. This was 2 years before.
No, he's not taking off 10 mil. That's crazy.
No, you mean 30 million a year?
I think you mean per year.
No. It wasn't 30 million a year originally. I may be quoting it wrong, but it was nowhere near where his contract at now. You know what I mean?
That's correct.
Maybe it was like what 60 or 70 million for like 4 years or something like that.
I don't know one quarterback gonna take less than probably about 125 over 4 or 5 years.
But Steve, he was still on the rookie contract, bro, and he was only making about $4.7 million a year. But that made most of his money off endorsement deals. And so when Jerry sandbagged, he let Jerry sandbag. And every kind of offer Jerry made, he said nope until he got what he wanted. That's Jerry's fault. That's not even Dak's fault, man.
Jerry got desperate because when they lowballed him and they didn't sign him when he initially came with that money, which would have been smart in hindsight, they tried to save face and re-sign Dak based on I think it was more out of fear than want, because if Dak would have went somewhere else and played, lights out, they would have looked stupid. So go ahead, give him the money and hope that he takes that extra step. But everybody knows outside of Cowboys fandom that he ain't gonna do that.
And I can tell you this, that this is Pollard. After this year, he's a free agent. If Jerry don't sign Pollard before he become a free agent, and he offer him money after the free agent, somebody gonna counter offer, and Pollard gonna go elsewhere. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you.
You better.
I was about to say you got to get rid of Zeke. You can't have that much money sitting there in the running back room.
Trade Zeke, get something back for him, and keep Pollard.
He's not trading somebody that he drafted. I'm tell you that now.
Well,
that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. Not Jerry.
I don't know about.
I think he's gonna let the contract run out. I think that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna let the contract run out. Just let him either retire or walk or go to somebody else, like he did Emmitt Smith at the end. You know what I'm saying?
If he didn't sign DeMarco Murray back at that time, and we all remember how explosive he was, then I don't think that he'll do that for Tony Pollard, bro. I just don't think that's the Jerry.
DeMarco Murray wasn't homegrown. He only signed homegrown people.
Well, he wore him out. He wasn't no more good.
Who, DeMarco Murray?
They ran him in the ground.
Yeah,
so they ran that man into the ground.
They ran that man into the ground, and they had a really good offensive line. And trust me, I had to deal with DeMarco Murray for one season. Like it was not having that luxury of that offensive built line and just manhandling people off the front. And then he looked average. And then he goes to Tennessee and he runs for over 1,000 yards because they have a good offensive line. Like DeMarco Murray was the product of the system of a good offensive line. I always sit there and you bring up Emmett. I always go back like, what would Barry do if he had?
Oh man, here we go,
man. No.
Here we go, man.
I hate.
I just get tired of people ridiculing Emmett because Barry had the offensive line. Hell,
I'm not burying Emmett. I said I wonder what he would do.
Detroit ain't never had shit. Nothing.
They had Scott Mitchell. No, but I sit there and say, like, what would he do? Like, how many yards would Barry have ran for behind that line? Because let's be
probably about 2,500 a year. Probably about 2,500 a year or more.
But anybody who sits there and says Emmitt Smith wasn't good or wasn't great, they're just saying it just to get a reaction. Everyone, we all know how good Emmitt Smith was.
He was all right.
Get out of here.
He played for a long time. He was all right for a long time. He was all right for a long time. He wasn't really dynamic.
You hate, man. You hate, man. You hate, bro.
I just don't believe in giving longevity awards. I understand a UNC fan and Vince Carter. Y'all gonna say stuff like that. That's okay. I get why you are.
He not top 5.
I ain't say he went. Who not top 5?
Emmett not top 5, but he better not.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna say he's top 5.
And your eyes are good.
I wasn't gonna say that.
They ain't what the stats say.
Hold on, Jacob. So who the top 5? Who top 5 running backs then?
Yeah, you gonna have to give me your. You got to have Barry up there.
I put Barry Sanders, of course.
Emmitt Smith.
I put Walter Payton.
Okay.
I put Jim Brown.
Okay.
I put ED.
Okay.
ED was better. And,
okay.
You gotta have Emmett. Come on, Ike.
Hold on. Let me think.
You can't think of it Emmett.
If you have to think about it, it's Emmett. If you have to think about it, it's Emmett.
Yeah, you can't think of it.
Man, a certified bona fide hate on Sunday morning. Have mercy.
Who you gonna put OJ up there?
I was gonna put OJ. I know that ain't a popular pick, but I was gonna say OJ. You know what I'm saying? Either that or it would have been Bo Jackson if he had a longer career.
Would have been,
could have been. I
mean, if you base off of just the running style and his ability, Bo Jackson was better than Emmitt Smith.
But he didn't put up the stuff. You living in the world of ifs. Put up what people did. Like if Bill Sayers didn't blow his knee.
Stats, if you're gonna throw the stat thing out, then I don't want to have no more LeBron, Jordan, and Kobe debate.
So
LeBron's top 5 in every category.
We don't want to have it anyway. We sick of it anyway.
LeBron is top 5 in every category. Like you can't deny that. Like I'm not saying you have to base it all off stats, but you can't base it off of what if. Like who knows? Like you can't base off ghosts. Like you have to give the man credit for what they did.
Like what would have happened to Todd Gurley if he didn't get hurt? Look at his stats and how good he was coming out.
He ran for 2,000 yards a year for 10 years, and like, what if AP never blew out his knee? Like, you can't just go off what ifs and be like, well, he had a good year. And
but AP had a great career. AP had a great career. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the few, but you can't base an all-time list off of what may have happened if they would have. Like, that's not. You can't really base a list off that.
I mean, if y'all want to put, I mean, that's on y'all. I mean, hey, I just don't think Emmitt Smith is the best running back ever.
We didn't say that.
One stat line.
Okay, there's a difference between saying the best running back ever and not having him top 5. Like you were stuck on who to name. You were stuck on who to name at 5, and at that point, it's Emmitt Smith. Like if you can't think of anybody, it's Emmitt Smith. Like, swallow the pill, swallow the blue pill, like in the Matrix, and it's Emmitt Smith. Like, come on. Listen, I'm an Eagles fan. I hated the guy, but I respected him. Like, and for you to not have him on there, that's just hate.
I couldn't get your weight up.
You know what? Hate. You know what I could say? I just thought about 2 that was better than him.
Who you got?
LD. I mean
LT.
LT.
Okay.
And
LaDainian.
That's what he said. He said LT.
Than him.
I probably take Marshall Faulk over him, but that's
Marshall Faulk. That's what I was thinking. Marshall Faulk and LT was better than Emmitt.
It's just me.
There you go. There go my 5 and 6.
Hey, Chris, I don't know.
I
don't know what you sent down from Philly this morning, but these guys, they really need prayer.
I didn't say Emmitt went.
I don't know how many passes you got on your timeline, Chris, but I couldn't Stephen need prayer. I don't know how many.
Wait, hold on. I didn't say he was top 5. I'm just saying I had Marshall Faulk in my top 5. I knew who I come looking for. Emmitt is in my top 5. As much as that pains me to say that the Florida Gator is in my top 5.
A Gator. That's right.
I would, the
best
he ain't better than Herschel Walker
not for debate.
when it comes to, and I even hate saying that damn
You say
thing.
he ain't better than Herschel Walker. Now he better than Herschel Walker.
Not college-wise. Not college. Now, in college, he wasn't better than Herschel Walker. It's very few that was better than Herschel Walker.
Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson.
In college?
Yeah, Bo Jackson been Herschel Walker in college.
It's a lot of running backs better than Emmitt Smith in college. You can name a lot of. You can start going down the line.
But see, when people say Emmitt Smith in college,
Ron Dane, the best.
I just feel like they need to go back and watch some of the Florida Gators tapes.
Nobody want to see that shit. Excuse me.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
But if you go,
I'm sorry. My bad.
If we're gonna speak facts and talk about breaking school records, then we need to speak facts, bro.
Bro, now SEC record. Herschel got all of their running back.
All right. Okay.
So you gonna tell me that you think Herschel Walker was a better
coming out of college? Coming out of college. Yes. Herschel. I don't have anybody I would put over Herschel coming out of college. Now what he did in the NFL was nothing. I agree with that.
What about Ricky Williams in college?
A ball dog. Trust me, he was that guy, number 1 pick. I totally understand. I still want to put him over Herschel Walker in college. When it comes to just running back, strictly playing running back in college, Herschel Walker.
I'm gonna tell you what's the running back, and Chris may know this. What's the running back? He played. I think he played. Was it for Georgia in college? And he ended up playing for the Rams for a little while. I can't remember his name. They did a documentary on him, like a 30 for 30 or
Todd Gurley on the one.
He was back in the 80s. This cat was back in the 80s because he played like in the kind of the era like when ED and all them was playing. But he was big in college. But he didn't necessarily have the greatest pro career. He had kind of like an average pro career, but he was breaking all the numbers. And I know he ended up like playing for the Rams for a little while in the NFL. But they did a whole 30 for 30, like a whole documentary on him.
It's a running back?
Yes, a running back. They did a whole documentary on him. I want to say he played for was it Georgia? No, it might not have been Georgia, but I know he played for the Rams.
I can give you every Georgia running back in the last 20 years.
Back in the Rams from the 80s, the name will come to my mind. You know what I mean? Or whatever.
Eric Dixon played for SMU, didn't he?
Yeah, I know. I was just messing with him.
Oh,
this running back might have played for SMU because it might have been doing it. Matter of fact, I think he did because it was
Dickerson?
He played. No. He played. I think the guy played for SMU because I think he played in the time when they got right before they got banned. You remember SMU got
they got hit with the death penalty. Yeah.
And I think he played for SMU during that time. You know what I'm saying? But he was a beast that people don't talk about because he didn't have an NFL career. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody else that didn't have a good NFL career and he had troubles in college, but he was a beast, man. Marcus Dupree was a beast in college, man.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what you said the name.
Who?
You said the name.
Marcus Dupree.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
There was a dude in high school named Booby Miles, so I'm telling you, like that.
That was random. Wow.
We talking about your cousin on your grandma mama.
I know somebody in high school. Booby was bad.
We ain't talking about your fake on your grandma.
Y'all ain't never seen Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, I seen it, man. He talking about a whole TV movie, man. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
He said y'all making up for. That's what he said.
So if KB is the football head like he claimed, and he don't know who Marcus Dupree is, then he should never mention football again.
I didn't say. First of all, I never said that I'm the football head. It's just the stuff you say.
No, you claim that. I'm gonna call you out on your shit.
I'm not claiming to be a historian of the game ever. But the stuff you say, it just don't make sense most of the time.
Okay. So if that's what you say. That's what you say, because you gotta be right about everything.
I'm not debating Marcus Dupree. I have no idea what he did, so I can't. I'm not saying anything that he doesn't deserve to be in that conversation.
Well, but he was SMU, right? Is that? If anybody look that up, was he SMU in college?
I looked it up.
You know what I'm talking about, Chris? Though Dupree.
Chris don't know who you talking about. No,
Mark Dupree went to Oklahoma at first. Out there with Barry Switzer.
Okay. I had the school messed up, but I remember the player though.
I just couldn't remember. He did not have a good. He played in the USFL, and then he went to the Rams, and he was not very good.
Yeah, but I'm saying his college career, he had a.
Oh
yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you based on some of these running backs in college, you could say a lot of players was blessed.
What school did he play at?
Ended up top
Oklahoma,
10, top 5, whatever you want to say in NFL. But it's a lot of running backs in college. To me, was better than him in college. That's all I was saying.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
And it was some running backs who didn't necessarily have a household name at the end of the day who had stellar careers.
I agree.
If you watch that documentary on Marcus Dupree, go back and watch that documentary. He was running joints back to the house. He was averaging like 8-9 yards a carry. It was crazy back then. Like he was doing his thing.
Your boy D'Angelo Williams, one of the best college backs nobody ever talks about, out of Memphis. He played for the Panthers for a long time, but bro was killing it out there in Memphis, man. He had all-purpose yards, kick return. He was pretty good. So yeah, it do be those running backs like you said you never heard of that can play. Because I believe running back is a position that you can play. It transforms. I mean,
I'm surprised you gave him. I'm surprised you gave him props, Steve, because you know how you and KB talk about divisions that's not in the SEC. You know how y'all talk about divisions.
Yeah, they be hating on every other conference.
Yeah.
No, we talk about Miami being trash.
Miami ain't had a damn running back. Give me the last running back Miami.
We give Clemson. We give the teams that.
First of all, Florida is the little brother to LSU, Miami, Georgia, and Alabama. You know what they do when Georgia, Alabama, LSU walk in the room, they see Florida? Who the little dude over there in the corner? You know what I'm saying? That's what they say when they see Florida.
Come on, Miami.
Hey,
some of the ACC
but I never put Florida on a pedestal.
Show me the ACC championship.
I don't
show
put
me
Miami
the
on a pedestal.
ACC banner. You ain't got one. Show me the ACC banner. Y'all been there for 40 years.
They haven't been good since Tebow. They haven't been good since Tebow. So
that's
why are you even talking about Tebow?
He won 2 natties.
That's another
30 years.
That's
what has Miami done in that time?
I was still in the military
What has Miami done in 20 years? Nothing.
Okay, we know this. We know this.
On the team who
they still talk about Miami more than they talk about Florida. Right or wrong? Who they talk about more, Miami or Florida, still to this day?
That's a show that ESPN needs to do on that Tebow team with Riley Cooper, Aaron Hernandez, Tebow.
They've already started the interview.
Hey, Chris, let me ask you this question. Who you think, if you think Aaron Hernandez would have got past his issues and kept playing, do you think he would have been better than Gronk?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
I think he was going. People don't realize, like, the unlimited potential that Aaron Hernandez had. Like, I remember, like, how often do you see tight ends line up in the running back position? And he did, and he would take a handoff. He didn't take many, but he'd take handoffs, and he would gain 5 or 6 yards. And, do you want to tackle Aaron Hernandez coming out of the backfield at full speed?
Hell no, because he going to threaten to kill you after the game.
Besides Tom Brady, Aaron Hernandez was the best player on that team, man.
No, you're right. I absolutely agree with you.
Y'all disrespectful. Y'all real disrespectful. There's some defensive players over there on the other side. I think like
I don't care what you say, bro. I don't care
what
about
that. Oh, know about that.
That's just my opinion.
He was different.
That's my opinion, bro. Don't call me disrespectful because I got an opinion.
He was
Get out of here, bro. Besides Tom Brady, Aaron Hernandez was the best player on that team, hands down. It's not up for discussion.
Yeah, we can't even discuss it, Jackson.
That's that old person stuff. You can't discuss it with them.
Call it what you want to call it, Steve. Cry me a river, Timberlake.
Well, anyway.
I think Aaron Hernandez was a very good player.
Yeah, he was different. Like I ain't.
You say that again. Say it one more time.
Steve-O, you funny, boy. You funny.
He sure was different. He was different. You say that again.
I can't with you this morning. I can't with you. Chris, man, I appreciate you coming on with us this morning, chopping it up with us. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks for having me on.
Hey, Chris, but one more question before you go, man. What's your take on everything you added, and do you think that y'all will make a playoff run this year? The Philly Eagles.
So they have a shot, but it all goes on the play of Jalen Hurts, because he's got to throw. He's got to throw, not run. He's got to throw at least 33 touchdowns. They play 17 games.
How many?
33.
You lost.
That's 2 touchdowns a game.
You lost. You lost.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's only 2 touchdowns a game, man. But when you're used to using your legs and
I know
and everything, but like he I don't know if it was me and I was the coach, man, I would have brought in a quarterback coach that has technique. Cause listen, man, the NFL is different from college. You got to be able to throw that thing. Like I would even say Lamar Jackson need to work with a quarterback coach, because if we know if Lamar get accurate and dead on the money, man, he gonna be untouchable.
Do you think that these professional athletes don't work with quarterback coaches?
I didn't say they didn't, man. But working with a quarterback coach and learning technique and displaying it on the field is 2 different things.
No, he's right. You got to have a good. You got to have good coaches around you to be successful. I mean, that's why the Eagles were successful in 2017. They had a good head coach. They had a good assistant coach. They had a good offensive coordinator. They had a great quarterback coach in DeFilippo. The defensive coordinator was so. When you surround yourself with good coaches, you can hide your blemishes. You can hide, 2017, you go back and you look. Foles' first game against the Giants, he struggled a little, but the Giants were terrible, so they ended up beating them. And then they went back and they looked at tape. They looked at the tape of 2013 when Foles was successful with Chip Kelly, and how the RPO played such a huge role in his success. And they used that. And that's when you have to have that coaching who does – the quarterback coach has to grab the room. The quarterback coach doesn't grab the room amongst the quarterbacks, you're not going to be succccessful. Your head coach can grab it, but your quarterback coach needs to grab the room.
Don't y'all have Johnson? Isn't he the quarterback coach? Because I don't think he's the offensive coordinator. Came from Florida.
Brian Johnson. I think he was with Jalen in college or in high school.
It might have been high school. It wasn't college, but
it wasn't high school. Yeah. So,
but he's.
So you think he's good from Florida? He can help him.
No. He's I just wanted to ask to make sure that he was still there, because God leave. But he's a good quarterback coach.
I did a fantasy show the other night, and I think we were talking about
world beaters in the NFL from Florida. Yep.
Yeah, the emergence of Jalen Hurts, and listen, if he's got the guys like AJ Brown, he's got the guys like Dallas Goedert, who if they catch a 5-6 yard hitch, they can take 3 or 4 guys with them and get them extra yards. So that Quez Watkins has the speed. I don't know if he really's got the arm strength from Jalen Hurts to reach him. It's just how you utilize Jalen Hurts' potential. I'm not sold on Jalen Hurts. There's a reason that they made a trade, and they have 2 picks in the 2023 draft. They have their pick, and they had the Saints pick. So, and there's not a lot of money tied up into that.
They better be hoping the Saints fall apart. Then
it's exactly what they're hoping for.
Crab leg Winston. It's possible.
So it's for me. It's going to come down to. It's going to come down to Jalen Hurts. As long as everyone's on the field, everyone's healthy. He's got a great offensive line. He's got Miles Sanders. He's got Kenneth Gainwell. He's got Boston Scott, and then he's got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, Zach.
You gonna leave Rieger off like that? Wow, y'all disrespect.
I would trade Rieger for a signed picture of Julio Jones.
Hey, but Chris, it sounds like to me you saying NFC East is in a world of trouble, in a heap of trouble, because all these teams is predicated on what the quarterback gonna do, and we all know that the NFC East got the most average quarterbacks in the NFL together.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So we all sitting back like, we all in trouble.
Yeah, that's crazy. And the highest paid quarterback in the league is in that division. That is crazy. You say that.
He's actually not the highest paid quarterback in the league.
Who is?
He's not, man.
Not this year. I think last year he was. Million. I think this year. I think this year's contract's like 22. It's a discount.
Okay. That's why he got all that money up front, because they got a discount this year.
And they got all that money.
I think it's is it still Patrick Mahomes?
I think so too.
Because the Deshaun Watson contract don't kick in until next year.
He got all that money up front for not know that the official has to touch the ball before he can spike it.
Oh shit! I mean,
I had to. It was just comical watching that as the Eagles are getting blown out of the water by Tom Brady. That made my day a little bit better.
Well, guess what? We get to see it again in 2 weeks, because they're the first game Thursday night. Well, Sunday night.
Well, Eagles. Sunday night. Who's the first game?
The first game is the Bills and the Rams. Yeah. That's the first game, and then second, the Sunday night game is Dallas at Tampa.
That Thursday night game is going to be.
I might surprise y'all with my pick on that one too. That first game.
That Thursday night game, take the overs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm always taking the overs on them. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but the NFC East, it's going to be competitive. It was competitive last year for 2 teams. I still think the Giants. I don't think the Giants are going to be. They're going to make some noise, but they still have Daniel Jones at quarterback, and you got Daniel Jones at quarterback. I don't know.
Listen though, man. I hear a lot of people say that. I hear a lot of people say that, man. But if we look at like I heard Lawrence Taylor say something. He said that what did he say? This may be the worst offensive line that the Giants ever had in history. And so
that's crazy. They got 2 first-round picks, 2 number 1 picks on the offense.
Now, but what I'm saying before, that's why Saquon stay hurt. He ain't have no blocking at all, bro. Yeah. He ain't have no blocking at all, man. He was always bumbled up, man. Always getting trampled on, man. So
I just think that good O line.
I just think when quarterbacks don't have no good offensive line, man, it looks a certain way to people. But I think if he had a decent offensive line, I don't think people say that about him, because I don't think that he's that horrible of a quarterback.
Me neither. Well, I agree with you, Jacob.
Well, look at the last play of the Super Bowl. Barrow had 2 seconds to throw the ball. If you look down the right sideline, Jamar Chase beat his guy.
Yep.
But unfortunately, Aaron Donald was on top of him. You know,
Right.
it's you know, you don't know if he would have made that throw, but if you look and you see, he had the guy beat.
Yep.
And
He was beating the guy all night.
Yeah, all night. I swore he tore his ACL in that one play, and he came back and played like nothing happened.
Who, Burrow?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Those quarterbacks were getting manhandled that night, but you know, Aaron Donald was that last drive and the drive against the Rams. He was, you know, and I get mad when people sit there, and no disrespect to Fletcher Cox, but when they try and compare him, there's no comparison.
Only Aaron Donald, man, but old boy from the University of Georgia too, Floyd. Like, I seen some plays that he made that, like, I was like, a young boy ain't supposed to make these type plays, like for real.
Yeah.
And Von Miller, they got their money's worth.
Chris, your sound cutting out, Chris. We can't hear you.
Yeah,
the old saying, money worth out of Von Miller too.
Yeah, the old saying is games are won in the trenches, championships are won in the trenches, and that's how Cincinnati lost. They couldn't protect their quarterback. Well, there was a game he was sacked 9 times in against Oakland. Against Oakland, and they still won. And then they went out, and then they made the trades, they made the picks, they signed offensive line, and they drafted.
But Chris, for him to do what he did with this playoff run to get to the Super Bowl, man, with the type of offensive line he had, that shit was nothing short of impressive, man. That was very impressive. Very impressive, man. And I'm gonna get iconic props. Joe Blow the lover, man. You know, Mr. Panther Stripe Suit. You know what I mean? I definitely used to take up for him during the beginning of last season. He said, "Watch, man, watch." And then I started seeing about the Miller season. I started seeing the progression. I said, all right, Alcon, you was right, man. But because he called it, man. He said they're going to make the playoffs. Yeah, because
there's 2 quarterbacks out. There's 3 quarterbacks in the league. 3 quarterbacks, I feel, well, one guy still prove himself. But there's 2 quarterbacks that I seen from college that I knew were going to be studs when they came in. That was Deshaun Watson. That was Joe Burrow. Now, I think Trevor Lawrence can be that guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Of course, he got to get a team around him, but I think he can be that.
We're going to see this year, man, because they added a lot of pieces. We shall see.
Yeah. I mean, Burrow,
that's my guy. So we're going to see.
Yeah. If you go back and watch game tape on Burrow, he just, you know, his eyes never wavered. He was calm, cool, and collected. Even when he was getting hit after hit after hit, he was just getting up and was just, you know, making them throws. And Joe Burrow is what Eagles fans wanted Carson Wentz to be. You know, that's what it was. Calm, cool, and collected. And, you know, he's, you know, the fact that he drafted, that they were able to get his college teammate, that played a big part. But now they know, let's get this guy production.
And the coach, they got the coach too.
The Bengals are going to give the AFC, you know, a run for their money for the coming years.
They're going to give them hell. They're going to give them hell, man. They're going to give them hell.
And they're good on the defensive side of the football.
And so what's interesting, what you say that's who people want Carson Wentz to be. Now, I done seen reports from some Washington players, running back, Terry, tight end. They feel like Carson is that final missing piece to the team. And, you know, they had a report about he throws some interceptions in practice and stuff like that. And those guys said, well, it's just practice. That's what you practice for, to get better before you go on the field. And so they feel like they'll do way better than they did last year with Wentz. And they feel like they're going to make an impact and they're going to surprise some folks. That's what his new teammates feel like about him.
Well, I mean, when you look at Tyler Heineke played probably beyond his skill level. Like he's
not a bad quarterback, though.
He did about as well as he could do it as in that situation. I feel like I think they asked a lot on Tyler Heineke because first of all, they have him throwing the ball way too much for his skill set. That's why he started making a lot of mistakes toward the end of the season, throwing the ball and ended up getting hurt because they asked him to do way too much. You know what I mean? And that's on coaching more than anything.
Well, that comes down to coaching, and it comes down to the front office. You shouldn't have. Let's be realistic. The Commanders, dear God, I hate saying that, shouldn't have went into the
comments.
Right. Shouldn't have went in. Right. Social media is just going to destroy it. They shouldn't have went in the 21 season with a 38-year-old quarterback and Ryan Fitzpatrick and Taylor Heineke. They should have done something else. Like they were 7-9 the previous season, And, they got lucky to win the East against, they pulled Jalen Hurts at the end of the game, but they were lucky and they should have built off that. And they should have went and got a quarterback, not named Ryan Fitzpatrick, who gets hurt in the first game and then he retires at the end of the year.
Fitzpatrick, man. Oh, man.
Yeah, they could have went and got Jacoby Brissett for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, seriously. Why not? I don't call or I don't know. I don't know. Maybe reunite Cam Newton with Rivera at that point. Instead of sending him into New England. I know he's not your boy, but he's.
And I thought that was gonna happen too. I was praying. I prayed to God, please don't let that happen, please.
But it was a better fit than what you had because he run system. You know what I mean? Like I'm saying,
McLaurin would have had 1,000 yards. He would have had 500 yards if he had Cam Newton.
Nah, not at all.
No. I don't know about that. I mean, you're just the disrespect for Cam is real.
Boy, you hate boy.
He on Cam bad.
You seen Cam in the last 2 years?
Yep, I told you bad. Can't throw it in the ocean.
I ain't even talking about the other years. I give him some kind of credit for other years. The last 2 years,
Cam, he can't throw it in the ocean. The last 2 years, he couldn't throw it in the ocean.
Cam went 8 for 23 or something in a game throwing the ball. 8 for 23. Come on, man. That's terrible.
That is terrible.
That's like a field goal percentage for AI in a basketball game because he's little. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't no quarterback should never go 8 for 23. You could get another 5 or 6 passes doing bubble passes. How you go 8 for 23? That's crazy. He had like a 3% quarterback rating in the game or something one time.
Well, it's Crystal quarterback at the time. Ask her, Crystal, how does he go?
Go ahead now. Go ahead. I didn't want no Cam Newton. I ain't gonna lie to you.
The white was on the wall when he was in New England, and basically, what's the name? Bill Belichick did everything to try to take up for him because he knew how bad he was. At that point, he should have never went back to Carolina.
He actually came out okay though. He actually was playing all right until he got COVID.
Yeah.
And then when he got COVID, it went downhill. But he was actually we had a chance to beat Kansas, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
The Chiefs. And he actually started off. I was actually starting to eat a little crow because I was like, I didn't want him at all because I just knew he wasn't going to be any good. But after COVID, he was terrible though.
Yeah, I'm actually
mistakes. Go ahead.
I'm surprised that the Commanders and the Giants weren't in on Jimmy Garoppolo. I was really shocked because the Eagles were in the talks and for it, and I was like, "Oh."
You talking about this year or last year?
This year.
Yeah, I thought too. I thought we were going to at least kick the tires on it. You know what I mean? We didn't even kick the tires on Jimmy Garoppolo.
I don't think that Washington coaching staff wants a completely statue type quarterback. Just like Atlanta. That's why Atlanta.
I think we would have tried to get Deshaun Watson if we would have had a owner that was both of them being rapists.
Deshaun Watson went going up there. I'm just telling you, he was never going to Washington. That wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, he could have been a strip club with Daniel Snyder grabbing ass.
But you know what? Nothing, man. You know.
Chris, I got one question for you.
Go ahead.
What do you think of Mac Jones?
Well, he's got a lot to prove. I know that they went 11-6, and then they made the playoffs, and it's all in their game now. They signed those tight ends, so But Belichick, I still think Belichick's a really good coach. I know he had Brady for all those years, and everyone thought it was Tom Brady after the Super Bowl run. But let's be realistic. Bill Belichick's a coach. He's won with other quarterbacks. I just think, Mac Jones.
Back up. You said he's won what with other quarterbats?
He's won games. Go ahead, Jacob.
Okay. I just want to make some clarification. I just want to make sure Gator Maher and Chris from Illy Philly, commentate this right. You know what I mean?
No, and it's going to come down to what Bill Belichick. He's got to trust Mac Jones because look at that Buffalo game that Monday night game? How many times did they run the ball and how many times did they pass the ball? Because he didn't trust
Right.
Mac Jones in that windy environment. He's got to put his level of trust into him. You know.
Let me say this, Chris, man, before you go.
No, you're gonna make Chris finish talking about.
If Bill had drafted the previous year like he just drafted this year, bro, I believe that the Patriots could have went farther, man. Bill don't want to see no players get paid, man. Bill want to just work his system and not draft players. Players get old. You got to draft new players, man. You know what I mean? And he just need, I just think if he had did the previous year what he did this year, they would even had a better run in the playoffs. But because they had a pretty good season for them to go 11.
Get receivers instead of getting slow ass tight ends, he might win something.
Like I said, draft better players.
He did go get a receiver from what you call him. He did go get, and then he been hurt though. Parker been hurt, but he's a good receiver though.
Look at that. Icon don't even know his own wide receiver. Miami got drafted.
He should have went and got some receiver. He signed them two slow ass tight ends, thinking they were gonna do something.
Listen,
they actually drafted a wide receiver out of Miami.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll give the Patriots Jalen Reagor, and I'll take 2 tickets to that museum that's next to the stadium right now. Like, because I have a story for you, low key. Growing up, I was a huge Drew Bledsoe guy. Like, I have autographs, I have jerseys, I have autographed footballs. So I went up to Foxborough a couple of years ago, and I went in that museum, and I was, other than the one where they beat the Eagles in Super Bowl 39, it was the year that the Eagles actually won the Super Bowl, so it was very nice walking around in my Eagles jersey up there. But it was that museum. I'll take 2 tickets right now for Jalen Reagor. You can have them. I don't want them. I don't even want to look at them. Like,
y'all do Reagor so wrong.
Can we trade him for Russell Westbrook?
Sure, whatever.
Yeah,
not Westbrook.
Basketball better than Russell Westbrook.
Man, I can't. You just butchering everybody this morning, boy.
We'll take him in Vegas. We need somebody to go downfield. We'll take him. As long
he
as
ain't gonna catch it.
He's gonna pass the ball.
He's
gonna be running down the field.
Yeah,
he might get lucky once or twice.
Maybe no, because it hit his hands twice in the Giants game.
Drop
it. I don't even know if it was a drop. Like, it just fell out of his hands. But back to I know Mac Jones is having a rough camp, but the whole if you go back and you look at the stories, everything, the lines aren't opening up holes and receivers can't get open. Like, your quarterback's going to struggle. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who your quarterback is. You're going to struggle if your line isn't working and your receivers can't get open. Like, that's that was one of the things.
Lineman faster than the Patriots wide receivers.
Right. That was the issue with the first 11 games of 2021 before the demise of Wentz. Receivers they weren't even playing. They weren't trying to get open. The line was terrible. And then Jalen Hurts comes in. The line plays better. Alshon Jeffrey gets open now because he doesn't like Wentz. I just think there was a whole lot going on more than you want to blame that. But when your line doesn't do your job, your running backs aren't doing your job, and your receivers aren't doing their job and getting open, your quarterback's going to struggle. It's just how the NFL is.
That's true.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on, man, this morning, and giving us a lot of insight between you and Eric last week. I think it's going to be a fun season. Regardless of what happens, it's going to be a very fun and interesting season all the way around the board.
Yeah, it definitely is, guys. Thanks for having me on. I wore my Phillies hat for Steve because I know he's a Braves fan, and I was going to bring up the score, but I did that last week, so we'll leave it alone.
Phillies need to get rid of their owner, man. He trash.
The Phillies need to do a lot more than get rid of the owner. They need to get a owner and not have a variety of owners.
No, they ain't good in Dallas, so you might want to keep what y'all got.
True, he is better than Dallas. Dallas is just worried about making money.
You really can't talk about the front office because everybody know that 2 franchises has a horrible front office. That's the Dallas Cowboys and the Las Vegas Raiders for years, for more than 25 years.
Add 3, Washington 2. Our front office terrible.
I thought the Raiders would have been better with the passing of Al Davis. I really did. Like, these old-time owners.
Him and his son need to go too. Up there eating wings, looking like he a wing away from anywhere, kicking the bucket.
Yeah, that stupid haircut. Like, get rid of just like you're a billionaire. Like, get a hairstylist. There should be one on hand for that guy. Like, he looks like a clown.
Legit.
All right, man. All right, brother. You be good, man.
Right.
Have a good day.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. So real quick before we get out of here, as y'all see, we got She Real Radio, which is B-Soul Radio. She just changed up her situation, but we back on that. We be back on She Real Radio or whatever too. So we got that going. So that's why y'all see that down at the bottom of the screen. But other than that, man, it was a great show. Chris and Eric from CEV Sports, and we had another great show. So hopefully this Wednesday night, the car won't be broke down and I can get on the show. You know what I'm saying? This Wednesday. So because y'all had a real talkative show last Wednesday. I missed that one. You know,
and maybe next time they'll let me in and not just have me in the backstage.
I heard they did. I heard they blackballed you.
But blackballed me, yeah. I had some stuff I wanted to say, and they didn't want to hear me. They tried to silence me.
Now you know, we knew you was back there. Jake know you was back there. You would have been up there.
Wow.
Hey, KB, I would say that you have that correct. For sure.
I'm just making up for lost time, Jacob. That's all.
Hey man. Hey, keep it all the way forward. Just know it is.
Oh wow.
No,
man, it's like that.
At least that juke on.
Right. Well, on that note, it's time to go. Woo. See y'all next week.
Hey.